You want to which
Yeah, he's basically partnered with KentuckySports.co and our parent company, KaiSco Broadcasting, to bring you Oldham County athletics, mainly Oldham County, South Oldham, North Oldham high schools, and all their competition. I think they play Ballard this year. They play a lot of good teams this year. So we're basically getting our feet wet with Oldham County, and we'll soon expand here in the next coming years.
Yeah, for sure. We'll get out here into the Louisville area, Jeffersonville, Southern Indiana area. We're going to get it all around. We're going to have teams, and it'll be fun. We'll get into that. But sticking on the UK UofL talk there, I'm excited, Mark. Everybody makes fun of us Kentucky fans.
No, you shouldn't. I mean, you should be excited about this football season because you have a lot of really young talent that's going to be on the field. Will it produce? I don't know. I mean, we're going to find out. But I really feel like just from doing a lot of research on UK, whether or not Joker's here to kind of realize this or not, there's some good pieces of the puzzle on this team, and they're going to be young factors. I actually think they might look a lot like last year's Louisville team. They're going to play a little bit different schedule, so that's going to be a bit problematic. But
I've actually been breaking down the schedule. And in my opinion, I know a lot of people might think I'm absolutely crazy because expectations are dead last.
You're not going to be casual gamer Reed, are you?
I'm not going to be casual gamer. I'm not that crazy. I'm not, I'm not Kelly Patrick, where I think that's awesome.
Are you like desperate for hits on YouTube?
I'm not. Yeah, I'm 12-0, gamer.
Morgan Newton's gonna win or Max Smith's gonna win the Heisman.
Yeah.
Trophy.
Max Smith. He could be good, but no Heisman.
Yeah,
I'm excited about Max Smith. Actually,
right.
We had the scrimmage today. I do believe our little inter-squad scrimmage with our 4 quarterbacks in red going to be. We could see a starter emerging today.
The scrimmage is about to start.
Yeah, it is. Max Smith, obviously. Morgan Newton's kind of injured. I don't think he's going to be there. Patrick Towle, you never know how he's going to do.
Seems like he's still.
Yeah, he seems like he's still
probably
down there.
Parked at number 3 right now, and I think that's just a matter of him not knowing the playbook. I don't think it has anything to do with his physical ability at all.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And, I mean, in my opinion, I would like to see Smith come out and be the number 1 guy. Just from what I saw last season, he was SEC all-freshman team. He threw. He came out in his first game, beat Ole Miss 30-10 in a fourth-quarter comeback, 3 starts in 8 games. I was a big fan of what I saw last season, and it kind of made me thinking, like you said, we're a very young team, kind of like Louisville was, and a young, talented type of team, as Charlie and Joker have kind of brought in the same – I wouldn't say the same guys, but, same level of guys.
Right.
On the talent stars, if you want to go by the ranking system.
If you want to go by the rankings, they absolutely have.
Exactly. And I just feel like, this team could be better than what it's expected. I thought, okay, you got your 3 easy wins. Pass up to 3 easy wins. I'm just, skip them up. Out of Conference Western, you're
Kent State.
Kent State, yes, exactly.
And Sanford.
And then you look at, you have Mississippi State at home. Yeah, I know we played over the last years. Mississippi State would blow it for somehow.
It's a winnable game. I think that game really depends on Kentucky's health.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
That's one of the first SEC games, which is always a positive. You don't have to get beat up early and then play, somebody late, like in Tennessee or Vandy. But then I do look at Tennessee. We are on the road, but I don't care. They're Tennessee. We are better than Tennessee. We beat them last year. Yeah, we beat them with a quarterback. I just feel like
I don't agree with that actually this year.
You don't?
Not
you
this
think
year.
that they're more talented?
I think Kentucky could win the game. I don't think
it's going to be tough.
Will.
No, I agree with you. That's one of my games that I put on the line of could they be one more win up?
Right. That's probably a 70-30 game.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
You know what I mean? Like I could see Kentucky winning. I don't think they will, especially because that game will be in Knoxville. And last year,
they remember.
Last year, Tyler Bray was hurt.
I don't care about Tyler Bray and his 4 stars, a tattoo on his back.
Is he going to play? I
hope he does.
So you
he can get lit
all
up.
Sorts of stuff going on in the SEC. You got Isaiah Crowell, Tyler Bray. Now
the Honey Badger.
Tyrann Mathieu. Honey Badger is gone. Like what is going on? Why is it every summer, it seems like all across the country, star football players excuse themselves from the season because they're just idiots. How does this happen?
It's just dumb people being. One prime example: Zeke Pike. Just less than a month.
He did that.
Oh no!
In the May. He did.
Now because he's going to Louisville, he gets a little bit of buy.
No, he was definitely boneheaded.
Goodness.
There's no doubt about it. But
your initial statement.
I'm saying, how does Tyrann Mathieu in August get himself dismissed from the team?
The same as Zeke Pike did.
Zeke Pike did it back in.
There was more leading up because the public intoxication was obviously he made it past that. He was kept on the team, and there was more. There had to be more.
There had to be. You're right. And I mean, I'm not saying that he definitely is going to be on a short leash.
I would love Tyrann Mathieu to come to UK. I know it will never happen because he's going to go to a FCS school now, so he can play 1 year, and then to the NFL, and he's going to be great because he's the Honey Badger.
He probably cost himself about $5 to $7 million.
He doesn't care because he's a Honey Badger. They don't care.
That's true.
Yes, I mean, just look at it that way.
Ants.
He eats ants. He's an aardvark. Oh, yeah. 384-1450. Give us a call. Again, we have Chris Hatfield coming on and Ben Jones. We have the Olympics. If you all want to give us a shout about the Olympics, we'll get into that sometime. We are dominating the medal count, 94, 81. And I want to go on and jump to the Oxmoor Ford Lincoln Buzz line, get to our man, Carolina Steve. How you doing today?
Just fine. Last night, it officially started over here in Indiana. They had the high school football scrimmages last night.
They did. How did you attend any of those? I know you're in Indiana.
I didn't get a chance to, but I know that Clarksville and Jeff scrimmaged at Clarksville yesterday, and I think it was Madison and Salem finished at scrimmaged at Salem. And the reason I mention that, the coach at Salem, Coach Moriarty, is the guy who coached Morgan Newton in high school up in Indianapolis. He's the coach down there at Salem now. So,
if I'm correct, it was Carmel, Indiana, right?
Yes. So he down there and everything. And next to stock car racing going live, I'd rather go to a high school football game any night than a college, because there you see kids really putting out and trying. I just love the atmosphere. There's nothing like a Friday night game under the lights, seeing high school kids play against one another. And I know y'all going to be doing that, but there's some good kids y'all need to watch over here in high school football. Last year, to me, the two best football players I saw in this whole area were not from Kentucky, but were from Indiana, and one of them, of course, was Gunnar Keel from Columbus East, and the other one was a kid from Floyd Central named Kyle Bramall, who I believe had 52 touchdowns rushing last year and averaged over about 300 yards a game.
That, I didn't know about. I knew Gunnar Keel, obviously former Indiana commit, now at Notre Dame, right, Mark?
Now at Notre Dame, actually committed to LSU.
Yeah.
Also,
he was just taking it around. That's always nice when you have those options.
Commit to everybody.
You might as well. That's a good thing. And then the other guy had 52 touchdowns and 300 yards games. That's just absurd, regardless of your competition or whatnot.
Yeah, it is.
Carolina, just give us a quick little update tomorrow. What kind of race we have, and the nationwide, I'm sure there's something special as well.
Okay, both of them going to be run on the road course, so there you'll turn left and right.
Ooh, oh, yeah!
Yes!
Here is something that was wild. In the nationwide, they have rain tires in case it rained, and they made them go out in the rain tires yesterday because it was raining. But they don't do that in the Cup for some reason. And it was good. I'm going to be watching both of them. They're going to qualify this morning on the four-letter network at 9:30 for nationwide, and I think 11:30 for cups. Okay. They're having an extra cup session right now and everything, and it's just it's one that you got to do. And Tyler, I took your man today because he has probably the best record at Watkins Glen of any driver, so I'm looking for Smoke to bring it home.
All right, I pray that's a good thing. And Carolina, I was say happy birthday over the week. I hope you had a good one. Handsome Jimmy took you out and got you a good meal.
Yep, that's going to be the thing, and I'm going to be calling y'all tomorrow. By the way, the Bramall kid did get a full ride to a division, to an NCAA school, not a BCS, but the kid had like a 4.5 GPA, and he's in Dartmouth right now.
Wow, Dartmouth. That's a very good school.
That's a genius school.
Tomorrow's show is
Carolina, we appreciate
huge.
the call.
Tomorrow's show is going to be huge.
What's that?
Who are you having on? You're having somebody in studio.
No, we're not. That's next week.
Oh,
but since you brought it up,
since I brought it up, my bad.
We are super hyped. Kelly Patrick, the Sunday host with myself. We will be having. Let's see when we get the date right, so I don't lie to you guys. August 19th, not tomorrow, but next Sunday. The man, Earl Heyman will be joining us in studio. We're going to be talking Earl from 9 to 11 about everything. Maybe not much. We may be a little Saints.
He just won a boxing championship.
He just won 2, Mark. Ringside, heavyweight world championship. He won the Indiana heavyweight championship. He's going to get his pro card here. Kelly told me here soon. Then he's going to go for Klitschko. He's my number 1 boxer. He's your number 1 boxer. He's Adam's number 1 boxer, and he's Matt's. We're excited to have him on. So next Sunday, Earl Heyman. We might have a few guests lined up for you as well. We won't let you know those
Talk
two
to him
yet.
about his brother.
Yeah, might be on there.
Yeah.
We might text somebody just to see what's up.
Yeah.
You don't know, Bruce Pearl.
Yeah, we might text old Bruce.
Anyways, this is Weekend Sports Buzz. Stick with us. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the Weekend Sports Buzz on 1450 AM.
I fell into a ring of fire. I fell into
Welcome back to the Weekend Sports Buzz. Mark Blankenbaker joined by Tyler Bloyd, CardsandCats.com and KentuckySports.co. Man, we are almost there, Tyler. We are almost there. The Olympics are winding down. We got the PGA Championship going on that nobody apparently cares about because the Olympics and college football.
Say, no, they don't care. They don't put it on TV.
What is wrong? Like, what? Why is it not on television?
It's stupid. It's like the NBC and the Olympics. It's like, let's watch BMX and not the USA basketball team, you know?
Because they have it on the NBC Sports Network. Yeah, they're trying to get you to make sure that you subscribe.
They're robbing Americans of watching the Americans.
Well, you can watch it online. YouTube.
Not all people have online. Everybody
who doesn't have online?
Well, there's a lot of people that still have AOL.
Okay.
There's a lot of people that might not even have that.
Which is what?
I know that, but you get the hint. We're going,
it's a digital era. We're leaving those people behind. This is Darwinism. All right. If you don't have internet, see you later.
Sorry.
Toodaloo.
You can't watch this then.
Hey, speaking of that, I'm going to get on a political soapbox real quick.
Okay.
All right. So I have a buddy of mine, and he lost his job, so he had to apply for unemployment. He's an internet guy. Always got the latest and greatest stuff. Well, to apply online for Kentucky unemployment benefits, you have to have an outdated version of Internet Explorer. So you have to dumb down your computer.
I've noticed that because I watched my dad do it when he
went through it.
Yeah,
yeah.
And he was like, dumb? I don't know what to do because he needed help. I was like,
but like you can't do it with Chrome or Firefox or Safari or any of the other or even Opera. Like you have to use I think it's like a 4-year-old version of Internet Explorer.
Yeah, it's you legitimately have to hit the arrow keys down and up to go scrolling. You can't click because I didn't want to download the old one.
We were having drinks over this last night, and it was hilarious.
Intense conversation.
Yeah, it really was because it was like no wonder we're so messed up because the people that want to apply for their benefits, they also have to upgrade their browser to go apply for jobs online. Anyway, this is a sports show.
It's fine. You can break off for a few seconds.
So stupid.
It is dumb, but who knows? It's America. 384-1450 Oxmoor Ford Lincoln Buzzline. Like Mark said, the Olympics are in PGA. I'm going to talk about the PGA just for a quick second. Here we have my man Tiger Woods, y'all.
Tiger Woods.
Tied for first with Carl Peterson and Vijay Singh. They're both -4 after a ferocious day on the course yesterday. The wind was ridiculous all day. I mean, it was St. Andrews type of wind. Tiger just sat down at the podium after his round and laughed.
Whose fault is it that probably 80% of the United States doesn't realize that the PGA tournament is going on right? Is it the PGA's fault or is it the networks?
I guess it's a little bit of both. The PGA and the networks, they're both being shady at each other. Maybe I know that. Well, I mean, look at ESPN. They had all 4 days of the British Open. I know the ESPN gets the rights, and it's all about rights and whatnot. But I mean, I know TNT. They have the final 2 days of the PGA, which I believe kicks off at 3 or so, 2 or 3 on PGA. But then you can turn on the Golf Channel. Nothing on the Golf Channel. Why even have Golf Channel?
Right. Nothing on Golf Channel, and they're just showing you how to get out of the sand trap, which is fine. But like hardcore golf fans know that the PGA tournament's going on. Obviously,
yeah.
The casual fan like me,
you might have forgot,
dude. I mean, yeah. I mean, why isn't golf in the Olympics anyway?
It will be in 2016.
Good. So we're gonna watch it.
We're gonna watch Tiger do work.
I like it. Tiger in 2016. I don't know.
It'll be that'll be a great another great event for golf. Great event for golf. It'll kind of be like a Ryder Cup and President's Cup type thing, but multiple
so is it
countries.
Gonna be team golf.
It'll be.
Or is it's not individual?
I don't know.
Like tennis, because I kind of like the tennis thing.
I hope it's kind of a individual. I don't know what it'll be. I don't know. Maybe they'll have 2 tournaments. One week, one the next week.
Yeah.
Maybe a singles 1 week and then the next week a team. Who knows? But it'll be here. And I'm excited because BMX is so stupid to watch on TV. It's like, hey.
I did watch this guy faceplant from Latvia the other day.
I watched a chick from US faceplant on. It didn't look hilarious. It looked like it really hurt considering she couldn't walk.
See, a woman from United States faceplanting isn't as funny as a dude from Latvia.
Yeah, that's true. Speaking of a dude faceplanting, how about the guy from of the Olympics, the 4x100 semis, I believe, Oscar Pistorius, the South African team, the guy on his team cut off another opposing team and he broke his collarbone.
Yeah. Well, serves him right.
Yeah, you're too slow.
That's what happens when you cut off our runners.
So we have the WAMPT Oscar Pistorius and his South African squad actually put an appeal in, and then they were granted it and won. They were in the 4x100 final last night, which they didn't win, but it was good for him to compete. The Americans, 1960, I believe, 40 years or so, last time the men's team, Mark, didn't win the 4x100 gold.
Who won?
The Bahamas.
The Bahamas.
The Bahamas,
won.
genius.
So it's not Jamaica. That's what I was
They didn't even
thinking.
have a team in the final.
You serious?
Well, that's crazy.
How does that even happen?
Bolton them didn't run, I guess. They were just concentrating on what
their
we can
individuals?
dominate.
Oh, okay.
Well, yeah, and then did you see the women's 4x100?
I heard that they
or the 4
crushed.
5.
The 4x100. I heard
don't know
they
what
crushed the world record.
Yeah, crushed it.
Yeah.
I've never seen a woman run faster than Carmelita Jeter, and you can get on our ihigh.com/Kentucky Sports video to see a picture of her in the Four Letter Network's body issue. She's a beast. If I can pull it up,
Yeah, pull it up.
I'll mount it up.
But don't you feel like your brain's kind of going to mush with all this activity?
I'm actually kind of excited the Olympics are coming to an end.
Yeah, because it's just like
Kind of
I feel like
getting
I feel like everything's kind of happening, and I'm like I can't keep up with it all because I'm doing UofL and UK camps.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, I got both these things going on, and the Olympics, and PGA golf, and baseball. Come on now.
And baseball, because the Reds are doing work.
Yeah, the Reds are
Okay,
doing
somebody
ripped out the page.
Wow, somebody is
I think John took it home.
I think one of the morning guys, maybe Mason, I don't know, one of the guys ripped out the picture of Carmelita, Matt. Carmelita.
That's what I was looking forward to this whole morning, was the fact that I was wanting to look at this page, and now it's gone. I feel cheated.
There we go. I got it
feel
up.
really cheated.
And there it goes. All right. Yeah, somebody ripped it out anyway, so it doesn't matter. But we have the Olympics. I'm kind of excited coming in. Grade the Olympics on you can give me a grade, Mark. 1 through 10.
I'd say it's a B.
You give it a B? I'll give it a B as well.
I felt like China.
I give
was
America an
great.
A for doing work.
I think we're gonna have A+ effort in Brazil because we're gonna see everything in real time. I think that makes a big difference because Brazil will be in the same time zone, or at least it might be like an hour difference.
Yeah, it won't be
But
5 hours.
it
That's a
won't
good
be
point.
5-hour difference, and we'll be able to see everything in real time. We don't have to worry about the NBC's tape delay, and I feel like
They'll still rob
that
us.
is going to be awesome. But yeah, NBC will probably still control the major events and put it on a network that most people don't have, and just to kind of sell that. But you know, just like they're using the ESPN U example, they're putting good games on the U to make sure that people subscribe.
Or ESPN3, same
ESPN3.
thing. But Xbox Live members like myself can get it for free.
It's great on Xbox for PS3, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. You get to choose different things. I like ESPN3. It's actually
You don't even
a good
need to
little-
get cable anymore.
You really don't. Netflix, you can just watch Netflix all day on
Yeah.
Xbox Live.
Watch ESPN on your Xbox
Yep,
and
you can,
watch
you can get on
Netflix.
Facebook. You can Facebook it.
Can you really?
You didn't know that?
No.
You can Twitter.
There's no way I would do that.
You can do it all.
Really?
It's the same setup, basically, like a computer. You're just using your controller.
But you could get a keyboard.
You can get a keyboard.
Yeah.
You
Anyway.
can. Yeah, another off random topic. But 94 medals for the U.S. team, 81 for China. We're now,
How did we get that spike? Like it was like neck and
Because
neck.
China has officially hit their gold medal wall. They're done with swimming, diving, and all the other events that really don't count as.
So we're going to run away with this.
Well, yeah, we're going to run away with this one now. And Kelly,
Even the gold medals?
yeah, we're up 41 to their 37. That was going into their first day, today. It ends tomorrow, if I'm correct.
Yep, tomorrow. And today, I believe, is the women's final of basketball. Is that right?
Yeah, the men's.
And then
is
the
tomorrow.
men's is tomorrow against Spain. I
Spain.
think that'll be a good game.
The Fighting Pal and Marcus Sauls,
Yes.
Serge Ibaka, Carlos Delfino.
Is it Delfino?
I don't know if it's Delfino or the other. There's another one. Carson Roy. I don't know. One of them. It's going to actually be a very good game. I'm a big Marcus Gasol fan.
Where's Team Canada? They could have had Steve Nash. And who else?
Luau Dang. No, isn't he?
Dang? I don't know.
I think
They could have Jamal McGlure
They could have Jamal McGlure.
if he's still running up and down
Jamal's
the
still
floor.
running up and down the floor. There's another big one we're actually forgetting. I can't think of his name. Patty Mills. He could have. There's
But I'm
somebody
just
else
saying they could have qualified. Well, what's up? With
I mean, it
Team
doesn't matter.
Canada?
Team USA is going to blast regardless. I still think we should beat Spain by 20, which we probably will because we'll try in the first half this time.
What happens? Can we have a B team? You know how like we have like in women's volleyball the other day.
Just
in
have, like,
sand?
3
We had
teams?
The gold and silver medalist, and
don't
it
see
didn't
why
matter who
not.
won. Can we have like additional teams, and then that
Like
way
the NCAA
we get
champion gets
gold,
to go and
silver and bronze?
The NCAA champion in each year could compete in the Olympics.
Call
in
it
my
our B
opinion.
team, USA B.
USA B, and
I
that'd be
think it would
awesome.
It would be great.
It'd be awesome. It would. I would be a big fan of it. There was something, the last thing I was going to bring up about the Olympics, but now I've forgot. Oh, yeah, the American that was running, I believe, one of the 4 one of those bye races, he broke his leg. Did you see that?
Finished.
And he finished for America. He wanted America to finish. And he ran the last 150, 200 meters on a broken shin.
Yeah, I love my country.
I loved it.
And I don't know if I would do that.
That's because you're not a
If it was war, I could do it. But if it was the Olympics, I don't know. I just don't see myself hobbling
You
over.
said war, but you're not fighting for your country when you get shot because you're probably running for your life.
You're probably running for your life. But you see what I mean? Like, if I break my leg, am I really going to
it might have been a stress fracture where it hurt like hell for a few minutes.
And then you could run through something like that.
Yeah, because I broke my friend's arm. He didn't even know he broke it till like 2 days later.
Yeah, I've broken a bone in my foot before and walked on it for like 3 or 4 days before I went and got checked out. It's not pleasant.
It probably was not good.
Yeah.
In 5 minutes, we're going to get to our first guest from Inside the Ville, Chris Hatfield. Talk to him about football. We got a lot of football talk. 384-1450. Give us a call. We want to talk about that. We got the Olympics past us. We got the Olympics talk past us now. We can scratch that off our list. I can get a few birthdays out there. A little Lee Suggs, Melky Cabrera, the home run champ, Terry Bollea, a.k.a. Hulk Hogan.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Is that his real name?
You didn't know his real name was Terry Bollea?
No.
Yeah.
I don't follow wrestling. It's still real for me.
He's 58 today. He's still wrestling as well. He's still ripping that shirt. It's good stuff. There was a question, Mark, I wanted to ask you. We're bringing up some football here, leading into Chris. What are your thoughts about, this Mikael Harris injury? Obviously, his 4th knee injury since coming to Louisville. What are your thoughts?
Lee?
Michael Lee. No, it's not Michael.
I was like,
sorry.
Mikael?
See, somebody said Mikael, and I was like, I thought it was Michael Lee. It's Mikael. I was like,
This is what happens when Ron Burgundy reads what's on the sheet and not what he knows.
Exactly.
Okay, but no, Michael Lee Harris, obviously, big part of Louisville football last year. Mm-hmm. He led us in receiving during the regular season, and then he tore his ACL and leading up to the Belk Bowl. He's rehabbing that same knee, and he's on no contact 7-on-7, and he tears the other ACL. It's his 4th knee injury, 4th ligament tear in 3 years, and it doesn't look good, to be honest.
I actually wrote the blog for us,
Mm-hmm.
the Louisville blog, which I haven't done in forever. I thought I despised doing it, but I felt sorry for the guy. I really do. I mean, the 4th knee injury, that's crazy.
Right, and
both knees, not just one knee, both knees.
Both knees, yeah. 1 or 2 for each knee, basically.
Yeah.
So you got to, at some point, you got to look at it and say, are you going to continue to play football? And I hate to say that because he's extremely talented. But another great player, Peanut Whitehead for Louisville, he had a spinal, like a neck issue that would make him susceptible to a neck injury,
Mm-hmm.
and so he had to quit. This is something that, if I'm Michael Lee Harris, I'm gonna seek out the best orthopedic doctor that there is, and just be like, tell me, should I be playing football? And if I do fix this and go through rehab again, what's the risk factor? Obviously, everybody has a risk factor.
His odds are so high of another injury. They have to be like an 80-20.
They would have to be. But they say a lot of times when you suffer an ACL tear or something like that when they fix it, you're actually less susceptible than everybody else. But when you've torn it,
he's
twice,
torn his MCL and PCL. It's his whole knee.
Yeah, his whole knee is kind of ripped up, and I just don't know if you can ever. And not only that, not only should you play, but can you play at the level that you probably
maybe
could.
not at Louisville, maybe not that type of
level. I think
level.
what he's going to do is I think he's going to be a student coach. I think he's going to be a part of the program. I think because he is like a major factor for them
maybe
in the
he
locker
needs to take
room.
like 2 years off. Just totally take a few years and get both knees.
He's got 3 years.
And he could take 2 years off football. Mm-hmm. Look at the Bernard, the Florida State basketball player, went to the Army, and he was a 28-year-old rookie draft pick. He could take 2 years off. Brandon Whedon, he's 28.
Yeah. Well, I think anybody that knows Michael Lee's story, you gotta end up cheering for a guy like this, no matter who you are. And I wish he could play this year, but. It's just one of those defeated sort of situations.
All right, well, let's go ahead. Yeah, let's get to our break. Dwight Howard went to the Lakers. We're going to talk about in the second hour, as well as the second hour, some other stuff. But in the last break of this first hour, Chris Hatfield from InsideTheVille.com will join us, talking all Louisville things we can get out there. So stick with us, Cards fans. It'll be a good segment. This is the Weekend Sports Buzz.
Like ours meet. I fell for you like a child. fell into a burning ring of fire. Went down, down, down.
We rolling. We got it rolling. It's like I tell people, get on the train right now because Coach Strong got it coming. Because right now, the light at the end of the tunnel is not safe. It's not safe. The future is coming. If you're in the way, we're going to roll right through you. So get on the train now. So all you people on the side, if you're on the side, it's coming. Coach Strong got the train rolling. We got the guys. We got some great recruiters, some coaches on their staff. We're getting the right people here. we're going to get it back to what it's supposed to be. We expect for that stadium to be 55,000, standing room only. People on the gate, let me in. Let me in. Why? Because the train is rolling. So anybody out there, I can't tell you what's going to happen right now, but it's coming. Get on board or get out the way.
Welcome back to the Weekend Sports Buzz on 1450 AM.
I am a real American, fight for the rights of every man. I am a real American, fight for what's right, fight for your life.
Welcome back to the Weekend Sports Buzz. My name is Mark Lakenbaker. I'm joined by Tyler Boyd. And right now we have on the phone from inside the Ville a very knowledgeable expert in Louisville football, and he has his ticket punched, Chris Hatfield. Chris, how you doing?
I'm doing good, guys. How you doing?
Doing fantastic.
Now that we just came back with that Hulk Hogan intro.
I know, that was a
Yes,
great
that was
intro.
great.
Are you about to rip off your shirt, Chris?
I think I still need to now.
All right, good. So right now, Louisville football is actually on the practice field for a scrimmage, and I'm watching Mike Hughes for some updates. Man, how pumped are you for this season right now, Chris?
I'm really excited. I mean, it's past expectations for a lot of guys, and they've been in the program for a while. It's exciting to see the buzz about the team being back.
Good deal. So, right now we just had a little injury at the wide receiver position. Tyler and I were talking about it before with the break, and got on the phone with you. What does that kind of create for the wide receiver position as a unit with Harris going down?
It's just really tough for Michael Lee. He's had so much talent coming in, so highly touted, and it's tough to see him get injured again. As far as what it does to the wide receiver position, it means guys like Scott Radcliffe or Damian Copeland or maybe even Charles Gaines, who's moved from cornerback to wide receiver in the offseason, are going to have to step up. But there's still a lot of talent at that wide receiver position. You return Devontae Parker and Eli Rogers, two guys who made huge impacts last year.
Absolutely. So, the schedule sets up really kind of nicely for Louisville. They have a couple early tests, and then they got to go on the road, for a 3-game stretch. In your opinion, what sort of record does Louisville football have to have this year in order to meet expectations?
I don't know if it comes down to a certain record. I do think they need to win the Big East Championship, and I do think the expectations are them to get to BCS Bowl. I think you want to improve on the home winning. That's something that I've struggled with ever since Charlie Strong's been here. They've actually probably had a better overall record on away than they have at home. And to be an elite football program, you have to win on the home field, and that's something they definitely need to improve in.
Definitely. And talking about improvement, is there an area that you see where Louisville may be deficient, like where they maybe need to make up some strides where they may have a weakness?
Well, I mean, the quarterback position, you don't have much depth. You have a lot of depth throughout the field. But with Will Gardner being injured in the offseason, he's a redshirt, you have Will Stein behind him, and that's something that's a little bit troublesome. You have to keep Teddy Bridgewater to be successful. He has to be healthy to be successful this season. Then you have a little bit of just inexperience on the defensive end. You've got young guys. You've got Adrian Bichelle, who's a senior, but he's only been here for he started towards the end of last year. He jumped in late. And then you got Andrew Johnson, who's a young guy on the other side of the field. So there's a little bit more youth on the defensive side, and I think that may be a little bit more troublesome. We'll just see how much these guys have grown during the offseason.
Absolutely. It was announced this week that Zeke Pike, former quarterback from here in Kentucky, and he was dismissed from Auburn after the spring, and he's now transferring to Louisville. It's been reported as tight end. With the injury to Will Gardner and the fact that it's Teddy Bridgewater and Will Stein and 2 walk-ons, and Zeke Pike is a former 4-star quarterback, what's the likelihood that Zeke Pike stays at tight end, considering that Louisville does need a scout team quarterback at this point?
Personally, I would think that he may play. If they get him in here this year and get him in practice and get him in pads, I think he may play a little bit in quarterback on the scout team. But once they have Cal Bolin in here next year, I think they will move him to tight end like they plan to, because they're really highly touted about Cal Bolin, and I don't think they want to do anything to make him uncomfortable. They feel he's the future, and I think he has some lofty expectations to move up to.
Chris, it's Tyler Boyd here. I wanted to ask you quickly, and since Mark did bring up Zeke Pike, what are your, you don't have to get into details, but what are your thoughts about Zeke Pike? Are you excited he came from Auburn, or obviously he was a talented player coming out of high school?
It's kind of mixed. It's an interesting situation. You've got a guy who's had a little bit of a troubled history, to say the least. But I kind of feel that if he doesn't come in and perform right away and stops a lot of stuff, then he'll be gone. So I think it's a low risk, bid reward type of situation. I think if he screws up pretty much even one time, I think he'll be gone just with his troubled history.
Right. I couldn't agree with you more. Like, as a Louisville fan, I just kind of Zeke Pike. It's like exciting because he's this great player, but at the same time, like, you can't get too excited about it because that there's a high probability that he may not be with the team. At the end of this semester even. So anyway, getting off that, moving into recruiting, Louisville's lost 2 commitments lately. Marcus Haynes and Ryan White. Ryan White here in town. Jason Hatcher was never really expected to commit to Louisville. What do you kind of think about those sort of decommits, or kind of in terms of a conference situation?
I think the conference road definitely plays an impact in it, but I don't know. Some of them guys, as far as Jason Hatcher, he always publicly stated that he wanted to get out of Kentucky. The other thing with Ryan White, I really don't know the situation. I think he may have not felt that he was going to play as much as he originally thought, or I think the Big East role plays a little bit into it, but I don't think it plays into as much as people think. I think if Louisville keeps winning, keeps taking care of the business on the field, I think that'll take care of itself eventually.
Right. I actually wrote an article on cardsandcats.com following Ryan White's decommitment. I don't really follow recruiting as much as you guys over at Inside the Ville do, but Ryan White's decommitment actually really bothered me, and the reason was because Vance Bedford, he has coached 14 players in the past 20 years of coaching college football into the NFL, and the defensive back coach that he's going to play for has only put in 2 in 25 years, and both of those guys were running backs at James Madison. It just really bothered me when I look at a guy like Ryan White, who's here in the backyard. He's got one of the best defensive back coaches and cornerback coaches in Vance Bedford that he would be learning from. And he actually coached Charles Woodson at Michigan, one of the greatest cornerbacks of all time. He's in your backyard. Why would you go play at Vanderbilt for that guy instead of coming to your hometown school and playing for probably, arguably, the best cornerback coach in college football?
It's definitely an interesting situation, and you look at some of these local guys, and you definitely want to keep them in state and in town. And sometimes these guys just want to get out of Kentucky, and it basically boils down to that. I'm not necessarily sure if that was the situation with him. I'm not exactly sure the situation with him, but I know with Hatcher, like I said before, some of these guys just want to get out of Kentucky, and you're not really going to do anything to change their mind.
Right. All right, so let's just say that, the Big East is Louisville's home for right now. What does that look like in the future, kind of after the BCS has run its course and we move on into this 14 playoff? What is the Big East? Are they a factor, or does Louisville have to work as hard as they possibly can to get out of this league and into a more competitive era?
I think unless the TV deal that NBC's proposed recently, I read a little bit of something about it, I've honestly grown a little bit tired of the Big East talk because it's just so tiring after a while, after following it so long, and it's just frustrating. But honestly, I think they definitely do need to work as hard as they can to get out of it. I think that if there's been talk in the past that Florida State could leave to go to the Big 12, and then the ACC would have a spot open. And I think if that happened, the ACC would maybe approach a Connecticut or a Rutgers to kind of shore up that Eastern Sideboard. And I think Louisville that'd be the worst case scenario for Louisville. So I definitely think they need to work as hard as they can to get out of the Big East, and hopefully if the Big 12 decides to expand. And I think if that does happen, Louisville will definitely get an invite as long as they continue to take care of everything on the field.
Yeah, Chris, I'd even have to agree with you as a Kentucky fan. There's going to be a conference out there that's going to take Louisville. It's just when it's going to happen. I wanted to ask you. Obviously, we're about 2 weeks or so from kickoff here, rivalry game. What are your thoughts about the rivalry game itself? Louisville versus Kentucky, and then looking on to Louisville's season. How do you think they will turn out? There's some high expectations coming out of the Card Nation.
Well, I think the Louisville-Kentucky game is always a game that you're a little bit unsure about. You don't really know what's happened. And, I see a lot of people expecting it to be just a blowout, not even close. I think it'll be a little bit closer than a lot of people think. I think Kentucky does have a little bit of talent on defense. I know they've had a lot of guys that are highly touted in the SEC. The offense is really the question with them. We'll see if they can get the ball down the field. But as in regards to the whole season, I think, like I stated before, anything less than a Big East championship for sure is going to be a disappointment for this team because there's so much experience. As long as Teddy Bridgewater stays healthy and the offensive line stays healthy, which has been a little bit of a question as far as in the past with Mario getting hurt. As long as that happens, I expect them to win a Big East championship.
So, Chris, if Louisville does win the Big East title, which bowl game do they get into, in your opinion?
I'd like to see the Sugar Bowl, but I think they would go to the Orange Bowl again as regards to the Big East ties that they have with the Orange Bowl. I know that recently, I think it was CBS predicted them to go to the Sugar Bowl against Alabama, which I think would be great, and I think that happening would really help their conference impact as far as getting out of the Big East. But I think they would go to the Orange Bowl.
Right, and actually I would bet that CBS would change their prediction now after the Honey Badger has been dismissed from the team. It would probably be LSU instead of Bama. But I would be really interested to see, because I think USC is probably going to be in the national championship game. That leaves a spot open in the Rose Bowl, but I know that they get to replace that with first overall if you lose your team to the BCS national championship team. I would love for Louisville to get into the Sugar or the Rose Bowl for the simple fact that they've never played in it.
Kentucky's been in the Sugar Bowl.
Kentucky in 1950?
Yeah, I'll take it.
1950, okay. All right, well, with that, we'll go ahead and sign up. Would you go to Miami or New Orleans if it was in the Sugar Bowl or Orange Bowl?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, I'd be there. I think I would love to see them play a top SEC team because I think that's a team where you can really gauge where your offense is, because I know Vince Befford spoke in media day saying that to compare his defense to Florida, and you've got guys that are all first-round, second-round NFL draft picks, and I think that's if you play a team like Alabama, that's where you can really gauge where your team is as far as among the elite programs. So I would love to see them play a top SEC team. Not as I say they're going to win or anything like that. I would just love to see where the team at is as far as close to elite programs.
Well, the last time they played Alabama was in the 1991 Fiesta Bowl. Nobody gave them a shot, and they ran them out of the building. So hopefully they could do it again. Chris, thanks for coming on, and we appreciate you. And we're going to have to hit you up during the season and maybe get a little mid-season report going or something like that.
All right, thanks, guys. I'd love to be on again.
All right, thanks, Chris.
Anytime, man. Great guest by Chris.
Exactly. John Hancock setting them up, man.
Good job, John. Get it done. If you want to give us a shout, we got just a minute left here. It's 384-1450. The second hour is going to be good. But, yeah, I think he hit some good points mentioning, the Big East. Get over to Big East talk. I mean, it's football season, Mark.
I can't wait.
It's football season.
I'm pumped, man. But you know what? I just know that the Big East and ESPN, because their TV contract's going to be starting in 19 days, the negotiation, that the ESPN's just going to basically drag the Big East through the mud for 60 days. They're already doing it now. It's going to get worse during that period, and it's just not going to be fun. And
one thing I will kind of disagree with Chris on, he hit everything else. I don't think you all want to play a top 10 level SEC team.
Well, I think what he's...
Or was he thinking maybe like in Arkansas, maybe South Carolina?
No, what Chris is saying is not that he wants to play them so that we can beat them. Mm-hmm. He wants to see where we measure.
All stand. I see.
So, and that's what it is. It's like when you're really competitive and you want to play at the top, you want to play the best so that you know where you are. So, like,
for sure.
Like when I swam in high school, I swam against a Olympian
And
guy.
you got dominated.
And I got absolutely crushed.
You got dominated.
But it told me where I needed to go if I was going to keep going down that path.
And you went to the bar.
I went to the bar.
He went to the bar. He did not. He's like, well, I'm no Michael Phelps, so
Exactly.
Diamonds is calling my name.
I was at Diamonds last night, and I'm
know.
going to go up to Indianapolis. We're going to hang out in Broad Ripple tonight.
Speaking of Indianapolis, and since we are here in Jeffersonville, Indiana, got to get it out there. Who's coming on August 19th again? Earl Heyman, Louisville Cardinal, former Super Bowl
You
champ.
think you could knock him out?
No.
Oh, wow. This is the first time you've ever
Come
ever,
on. I'll
ever
weigh half
doubted your
like
athletic
half of his
ability.
body. No, Earl Heyman, August 19th, he's going to join myself and Kelly Patrick in the studio, full 2 hours. It's going to be a great show. Going to talk about all things with Earl. We're excited to do that. We really are. He's excited. He came in and showed Kelly at work his championship belt, his ring, when we get it correct, National Ringside Heavyweight Champion and Indiana Golden Gloves Champion. It's great.
Dude, I'm so happy for Earl. You
So
know what I
hyped.
mean? Like he can really build on this and like take it to.
He literally told Kelly he's going for Klitschko.
He's going for Klitschko. Okay,
You know what?
Get your pro card, Earl.
I cannot wait.
Okay,
I
can't
cannot
wait
wait.
either. I'd buy tickets for
It's
that.
gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Great first hour. Second hour, we have from Rivals.com Ben Jones joining us at 10:15, I do believe. Stick with us. Give us a shout. 384-1450. Tyler Boyd, Mark Wakewaker. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the Weekend Sports Buzz on 1450 AM.
Some folks are born made to wave the flag. Ooh, they're red, white, and blue. And when the band plays "Hail to the Chief," ooh, they point the cannon at you. No, it ain't me.
We're back. The Weekend Sports Buzz. Matt's playing some great music today. First time since we've been on the radio.
I ain't no senator's son.
I knew you were going to say it today because guess what? Tyler picked out the music, so that means it's the best music
The reason
ever.
I said that is because everybody was making fun of me last night. Well, why are you playing all this classic rock? Why nobody cares? Because I want to today.
Because I want to.
I never get to choose music, so I'm going to choose the music today.
Absolutely.
All right, 1450 to sportsbuzz.com. Check us out. KentuckySports.co, cardsandcats.com. Check us out.
Ben
and
Jones in 10 minutes.
Ben Jones from Rivals.com, UK writer, in 10 minutes. We're going to talk to him all things we can, find out who's starting this scrimmage for the Cats, find out the running back issue, what's going on with Kaushik Williams, see how he's doing. He's supposed to be having a good spring so far.
He had a great fall.
He's back. You know, he kind of injured last year, but he's fine. He's Kaushik. He's a beast, and he's Williams. 384-1450, the Oxmoor Ford Lincoln Buzz line. Give us a shout. Mark, we had a great song leading there, so mention the Olympics real quick. The USA women, again, they take on somebody.
Some other country.
Some country are going to beat by 30, 40, just like UConn women do every game in the gold medal match.
Angel McCautry is going to get herself a gold medal today.
Yep, that's great. Former Cardinal, great number one pick, right?
Number one pick.
Two number one picks from our state are getting golds this year.
I love that.
Anthony Davis and Angel McCautry. That is awesome. I never thought about that.
It's really cool.
Now, before we get into Ben Jones and his UK stuff, I want to talk about this Laker garble. We got a bunch of stuff here. Dwight Howard pouted his way to L.A. He's finally there. He got the trade he wanted. Are you glad it's over? And how do you now look down? Maybe not the bigger Dwight Howard fan as you were before.
I was never really a Dwight Howard fan to begin with.
Okay.
And honestly, I'm very surprised that the NBA allowed this trade to happen when they didn't allow Chris Paul to go to the Lakers a year before. Now the Lakers have Steve Nash and they have Dwight Howard, but I think of what that team could be like if they had Chris Paul, Kobe, Dwight Howard, Ron Artest, and Pau Gasol. It would be so much younger right now. This team probably has a 2-year window to do something.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, he's great starting five. I mean,
right. Well,
Dwight
Howard would be there for a long time, but who else will be? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because Nash is old, Kobe's old,
Powell's
aging.
Even if he's not old, he's still aging.
Artest is getting up there too, but he could go crazy.
And Artest isn't the guy you're really worried about, anyways.
No, you're not. So
unless he punches you.
But I mean, he's a great defensive player.
For sure.
But anyway,
which is all they're going to need.
So they are a much better lineup than the Heat.
Let's see, the trade was crazy. 11 guys over 3 or 4 teams. Andrew Bynum left the Lakers to 76ers. Andre Iguodala left 76ers to go to Denver. Obviously, Aaron Aflalo. See, Orlando got him.
Earl Clark also is a Laker now.
Yeah, Earl Clark and Jody Meeks. Jody Meeks signed a
3-year deal.
$3 million deal.
2 years for $3 million.
So there's maybe title town for Kentucky and Louisville fans.
That'd be awesome.
That would be cool. I still won't root for it, to
be
honest with you.
You know what I didn't like, though? Was ESPN's coverage. They actually were talking about how this was reminiscent of when the Heat came together. But to me, this was because of a trade, this feels more like the Celtics coming together.
This feels more like something stupid coming together to me, honestly. I hate this. I hate how you can dictate where you honestly want to go. I mean, Dwight Howard, I'm not going anywhere because I'm a big baby.
He's a big baby.
I'm a big baby, so I'm going to pout my way until I go to exactly where I want to go.
Is this a surprise? We're talking about the NBA right now.
It's ridiculous. I mean, Howard Stern. David Stern is possibly one of the worst GM or presidents out there. I mean, seriously, control your guys a little bit. I mean,
David
look
Stern.
Look what you're doing to the NBA. Look what you're doing to the little market NBA.
David Stern's done a lot for the NBA, but what he hasn't done is negotiate a good collective bargaining agreement in order to control player moves like this.
Mm-hmm. It's stupid.
He needs to give more power to the ownership, but the problem is the ownership's been scared to take it back because they don't want to have a strike.
I'm not about injuries. I hope Dwight Howard's fine, but I hope his back hampers him his rest of his Laker career where he misses a lot of games. I'm not saying I hope he's nothing bad, you know what I'm saying? Spasms, Tracy McGrady.
Just think about it. Okay, the NFL has a lot of money. Okay, they make a lot of money. In the NBA, a lot of these teams, they a lot of them break even. Some even actually lose money during the season if it's a bad year. The NFL has negotiating room. The NBA ownership, they don't have, a lot of the teams don't have that. So, like, when it comes down to their CBA and looking at a strike, they're kind of up against it. Where the NFL has all the leverage, the ownership has all the leverage. So the NBA, they kind of control, the players kind of control what's going on, and until that changes, then this is always the way it's going to be.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know about that, but I'm excited. I'm happy for Jody Meeks to go to a very, very good team, but I will not be. I hate to say it, I won't be cheering for the Lake Show. I'll be cheering for, I guess, Jody whenever he's in.
Did you see where John Wall said that the Wizards were a playoff team?
Yes, I did, and I'm excited about that.
You feel like that's a true statement?
I don't.
Or do you feel like
know.
It's overly optimistic.
I don't know. I haven't paid too much attention. I don't pay too much attention to NBA once it's over, because I just hate all this off-season BS that always goes down with the NBA. But I did want to ask you, since we got Dwight Howard and Kobe now, who would you have? Dwight Howard and Kobe, or Kobe and Shaq?
Kobe and Shaq.
Kobe and Shaq, me too. I'm right there with you. I was talking about this last night to a couple guys, and a couple of them said they'd rather have this one, a younger, But
No.
Did they forget that Shaq was young and dominant?
And so was Kobe.
And so was Kobe, and younger Kobe. Yeah,
At that point, when Shaq was with the Lakers, I mean, there was no bigger show in basketball at all. Right now, the biggest show in basketball is LeBron James. I mean, let's get it real.
Yep.
He's the most dominant force. Back in those days, Shaquille O'Neal was the most dominant player in basketball for over a decade, and it was really fun to watch. And I love Shaquille O'Neal. I think he's great. I did not like Kobe back in the day. I do like him now.
I never did like Kobe. Just something about him.
Maybe
Dwight Howard put it perfect yesterday. He called him to say I was joining. Yo. I don't know, something about Kobe and his stupid picture was him in England with his shirt off at a party. I mean,
oh really?
Kobe's just odd.
I guess I don't follow it like
Kobe's odd.
I guess I just respect him now more than I did when he was younger. And I probably respect LeBron more when he's in his late 30s.
I like LeBron since he was in high school. You know me, I'm a fan of the cocky type of person. Which, I don't care. I'm the LeBron, Team LeBron over Team Kobe all day, any day.
Okay.
And I'm excited he got his ring. But, yeah, Shaq and Kobe over. I'll take those two duos. I don't care what anybody says. If you try to compare Shaq and Dwight Howard, you can't, my opinion.
No.
It's just Dwight Howard's great. Don't get me wrong.
Dwight Howard's a great center.
He can't put in 30 and 20, though.
But he's not at Shaq's level. You take Shaq up against Dwight Howard at any point, not any point in their career, but like in their prime, most points, then I'm going to go Shaq.
Yeah, Shaq.
If we're going to talk about right now, obviously I want Dwight Howard.
Shaq's old and heavy, and he already did his work. But if it was prime versus prime, kind of like Jordan versus Kobe, prime versus prime, I'm taking Jordan. I'm taking Shaq.
Taking Jordan over everybody.
Taking Jordan over. That's why I'm taking the 92, because they have that guy, Michael Jordan.
Exactly.
And they have a lot of other good stuff.
He was coming
too.
into his prime at that point.
And they didn't almost lose to Lithuania. Anyways, this is the Weekend Sports Buzz. Matt, did you say go to a break? Okay, we'll get to our break because we got our man, Ben Jones from Rivals.com, joining us. We're going to talk about UK football. We might mention he got into a little ice tub challenge yesterday.
I know.
So stick with us. We'll be right back. Kentucky fans, 384-1450. Give us a call.
Welcome back to the Weekend Sports Buzz on 1450 AM.
If I leave here tomorrow, would you still remember me? Well, I must.
Welcome back to the Weekend Sports Buzz. Myself, Tyler Boyd, with Mark Blankenbaker every Saturday, 9/11. On the Oxmoor Ford Lincoln Buzz Line, we're going straight to it because we got our man from Rivals.com, Ben Jones, on the line. How are you doing this morning, my man?
Pretty good. How about you guys?
We're
Doing fantastic.
Doing fantastic. Before we get into the UK football chat, I wanted to bring something up. Our Joker Phillips, Kentucky coach, yesterday tweeted out a little something. The Ice Tub Challenge. You participated in this yesterday, if I'm correct.
Yeah, that wasn't supposed to get out. The one condition I was going to do that under was that nobody tweet any pictures of it. But, what are you going to do if the head coach does it? Can't really say anything, right?
Well, you look like you were really enjoying it as Matt plays a little Ice Baby for you.
I'm glad I made it look easy. It was pretty cold.
Yeah, you had the sunglasses on. You looked like you were almost in like a hot tub, but it was pretty cold. So do you feel the effects in the next morning like you're supposed to? Like, do you feel like $1 million?
Maybe a little bit. I actually didn't probably follow proper ice bath protocol because I went and worked out immediately after as opposed to immediately before.
Yeah, you kind of did that backwards.
Yeah. Hopefully I'll be okay, though.
Okay,
For sure.
Well, when John Hancock asked us, he said, who should I get on the show to talk Kentucky football? I said, Ben Jones. He's the best guy that I have read, and in terms of Kentucky football. So I wanted to get you on. So let's get right into it. Who's winning that quarterback challenge right now?
I'm not sure there's a clear leader right now. Today they'll have their first scrimmage this afternoon, and I think somebody might pull ahead during there. It's always kind of tough when they have the first week of practice, and all they're really doing at this point is installing plays. And so they've got two returning guys who know some of the plays, but obviously some new things to learn every year. They're going to put them out on the field today in a game situation, and I think you might start to see some separation after this. But I'd be surprised if we hear a starter before about this time next week at the second scrimmage.
Yeah, that would kind of make more sense to me. Get one full-blown, practice scrimmage in, and then, coming into your next week, do it again. Then you might have, like you said, the separation. Is there either one of these guys? I mean, even Whitlow. I mean, could either of these guys, in your opinion, be separating themselves too now, or is it kind of a tight battle?
I don't want to read too much into it. Joker did say yesterday that something about the top two guys, and then later in the same answer referred to the two freshmen. So it does sound like Morgan Newton and Max Smith are probably ahead of Patrick Tolles and Jalen Whitlow. And really, that's probably to be expected. You can't really count on a true freshman to come in and be in the competition for the starting job in his first week on campus. That would really be something over two guys who have been there for quite a bit of time. So I think for now the two returning guys are probably a little bit further ahead, but that could certainly change after another week or halfway through the season.
Yeah, I would be really surprised if Max Smith does not win the job just based on what happened last year with Morgan Newton and maybe trying to change things up. Maybe Morgan feels maybe he's throwing the ball better in camp. We don't know that because we're not behind the curtain, but I'd be surprised if it wasn't Max Smith, but you're the UK expert, so I'm gonna follow you and let you tell me. So that one of the other changes that kind of shook up the entire UK defense, secondary especially, was the ineligibility of Marcus Caffey, kind of right before camp, and kind of threw everybody for a loop. They moved Martavius Nellums over to cornerback, which is probably his more natural position, but then they had to find a replacement at safety. How is that? I mean, we know Cartier Rice and Martavius Nellums probably going to be the starters at corner. How's the safety position kind of shaping up after the move?
Well, it's been kind of a little bit of a shuffle, like you said, kind of made them change up a lot of things in their secondary. At the end of spring practice, the starting safeties were Martavius Nellums at one spot, and then Ashley Lowry and Mikey Benton were kind of battling for the two. Benton was the guy who started most of last year at one safety spot. The two safety spots are pretty interchangeable in the system, which is why I'm not referring to them as free and strong safeties.
Right.
So there was a safety spot where Benton and Lowry were pretty much competing, and it sounded like they were pretty much dead even at the end of spring practice. And so what they've done since they moved Nellums back to corner is they moved Benton to Nellums' safety spot, and then Lowry just goes to the starting position in the place where he might have been the starter anyway. So two guys who were battling for a starting spot, each of them gets a starting position right now at safety, Benton and Lowry.
Gotcha. So right now, there's a lot of wide ranging expectations for this football team. If you're a Kentucky fan, tell me why I should be excited and tell me why I should be nervous.
Ooh, that's a good question. I've never had it phrased to me like that actually before. Reason to be excited, I would say that some of the things that Joker's saying, I believe him when he says that this is a young team and that some of the best players on this team are the youngest players. If you go back and look at the way that some of their previous recruiting classes have shaken out, the 2008, 2009, 2010 classes, which constitutes the majority of the juniors and seniors, those classes were in large part disappointments. There's a lot of guys from those groups who are just no longer here. And, there was a guy named Randall Cobb who left for the NFL, but there's also a lot of attrition in those groups. So I think that the freshman and sophomore classes and the redshirt sophomores also and the redshirt freshmen, those guys probably are the most talented guys on this team. And you might start to see that especially towards the end of the year as, things start to wind down and guys get a little bit more comfortable with how things are going. But if that's the reason to be excited, that's also probably the reason to be nervous. If you're going to be counting on so many freshmen and sophomores, you kind of have to wonder how far those guys can take you in the SEC.
Yeah, for sure. You make a good point there. You're going to be a young and talented team, in my opinion. But on the field, where do you think the success will come, and where do you think they're going to struggle? Obviously, they're a young team.
Yeah, one spot that a lot of people have said to me that they're worried about that I would not really be worried about is the linebacker spot. It's a natural thing when you lose all four starters to just say that the production there is going to take a huge step back, and especially when there were two NFL guys in that group last year. But I think the four guys they have in there right now, Avery Williamson at middle linebacker, Malcolm McDuffin kind of in a battle for the weak side linebacker spot, which is where Danny used to play, then Bud Dupree and Miles Simpson at the two hybrid spots. I think those guys have a ton of ability, and they're all young, but they're also all going to be back next year. So I think there's a lot of talent there, and those guys should be able to fill the void left by those four starters.
Yeah, for sure. Like we started out with, we've Ben Jones from Rivals.com. We started out with the scrimmage. When it asks you, that is today. What is Joker and the staff, looking for coming out of today's scrimmage? Any key points to today that they're going to be hitting on?
Didn't really touch on that too much in practice. I think one of the things he did say was that he'd like to get a few of these position battles settled, maybe some of the spots where it looks like a guy is probably ahead in practice, if they think he can, set the gap ahead of his competition large enough today so that they don't need to continue battling and splitting reps with the starters at one spot, then they'll probably just go ahead and do that today. Like I said earlier, don't think it'll happen with the quarterback position, but I think after today there might be a few positions that are pretty well decided.
Right, and last year the offense just wasn't. It was kind of like the black eye of the team. The defense played really well, and the offense just really never got going. When we find a quarterback for Kentucky, how do they now move the ball? You know what I mean?
Yeah, the offense has to get a lot better, and that's one of the things that all the quarterbacks told us at Media Day. Obviously, we haven't gotten a chance to speak to them since then. Mm-hmm. But one thing that I would caution people is, people say the offense, players tell us this year that the offense is going to be better, and it kind of has to be better. When you were ranked 118th out of 120 teams in the nation, you don't really have that much room to go down. You can only kind of go up. But I was running some numbers the other day. The offense averaged, I think, 259 yards a game last year. If they were to average 359, so if they improved by 100 yards a game, which would be a significant improvement like everybody's talking about,
for sure,
that still would only rank them 84th in the nation based on last year's numbers. You look at all the other teams in the NCAA. So it's possible that this team could be a lot better on offense and still just not be that good on offense.
Yeah. Right, so is it fair to say that the offense could be improved, but the defense could be a little less than last year and the results could be the same?
Yeah, there's so many questions still at this point. Obviously, we're still in fall camp, so it's so hard to tell. But I do think the offense will be better. I think that it might be significantly better. The defense, I don't know quite what's going to happen there. There are a lot of guys who have a lot of ability, like we've talked about, but it is certainly possible that they'll take a step back. They're going to have to really concentrate on turnovers and being smart with the ball, be efficient in their possessions, make sure they're getting points out of all their possessions, I think, if they're going to get a few wins this year.
Yeah, and like we said, on the offense, last year struggled and whatnot, and receivers dropping balls was a big part. In my opinion, this year it's going to be an improved. Well, I'm hoping it's going to be an improved wide receiver core. Obviously, you got some seniors out there with Rod King, E.J. Fields, G. McCaskill, and then you got some younger, talented guys. Obviously, DeMarcus Sweet, he's there. What are your thoughts this year of the receivers? Is it going to be more of the same, or is it an upgraded receiving core?
When you talk about the improved offenses, the receiving core is kind of the first place where you want to look, and a big part of that is because of the drop balls. And you can look at it two ways. You can say, well, all these guys have a year more experience, they're all going to be better. Or you can say, well, these are all the same guys that were here last year and just weren't very good. Mm-hmm. Matt Rourke is the only one who's leaving. Darryl Collins is probably going to have the biggest impact of anybody who didn't play last year. He would have played as a true freshman, but tore his meniscus in fall camp. I think that Darryl Collins is going to be a big part of the wide receiver core. DeMarco Robinson has been big in pretty much every scrimmage dating back to spring, and so he'll probably play a big role. Also might return punts or kicks. And then there's two true freshmen, A.J. Legree and DeMarcus Sweat, who also could help out this year, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
So how much is DeMarco Robinson really going to factor? How much are they really going to ask him to do? I mean, he's not a big wide receiver. He's about 165 pounds. I mean, do you feel like they can really lean on him for 8 catches a game and return kicks and punts? I mean, is that a realistic thing to ask him to do?
Well, I don't think you need to have him be 8 catches a game and your number one receiver. I think Rod King can be fine as your number one receiver, and if DeMarco Robinson can kind of fill a role where you put him in the slot, you move him around, you put him in motion before the snap, I think that's where he can probably help the most on offense. I don't know if you want to line him up out wide against a 6'2" corner, but if you can get him on a matchup problem with a safety or a linebacker inside, then that might be the best place for him.
Yeah, he was extremely impressive in the blue-white game. It was my first real opportunity to see him in extensive action. So I was thoroughly impressed with him. What about the running back position? Josh Clemens, I know he's about 50-50 kind of in terms of contact reps. How's that situation kind of working itself out?
That's right. Josh Clemens right now is he'll practice one day, and then he'll sit one day out there trying to keep him fresh and time that so that he can be good to go for the scrimmages on Saturdays. And again, like running back, like we said with receiver, it's a position where it's all the same guys as last year, and so you can say, well, they're going to be better because they're a year older, or you can say, well, it's just the same guys as last year. I do think it'll be improved a little bit. Raymond Sanders should be healthy. He was obviously banged up a lot last year, meaning that they had to go to Koshi Williams, who might be the leader right now to start at that position. And then 2 freshman running backs, Justin Taylor and Dyshawn Mobley, both just massive guys, the biggest guys in the running backs position probably by far. I think one of those guys will probably play this year, and one of them will probably redshirt, if I had to guess. Don't know enough about those two, and I don't think the coaches know which which will play and which will redshirt. Probably find that out after a couple scrimmages.
Oh yeah, Ben. Before we do let you go, I wanted to ask you quickly. We're coming up on kickoff, rivalry, Louisville, Kentucky game. What are your thoughts on Kentucky's schedule, and how do you think they will end this season? Is it going to be a positive? Is it going to be what the predictions are saying? In my opinion, I could see 5, potentially 6 wins.
Yeah, I think the ceiling is probably 6 wins for this team. I think 4 or 5 is probably more realistic. Mm-hmm. And what I tend to tell people is that 6 wins will probably buy Joker another year. They'll probably have to give him a contract extension because he only has 1 more year on his deal after this. 5 wins, kind of a gray area for Mitch if he has to look at the coaching situation after this. I think that will really depend on how the team looked on the field. If they were competitive and most of those losses, or if they were just getting blown off the field. 4 wins, that's another year taking a step back where they went 7 years from before Joker was coached to 6 to 5 and then to 4. I think 4 wins, it would be tough to keep him for another season.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really argue that. Ben, we do appreciate you coming on. We're up against the break. Check Ben out on Rivals.com. He's got great stuff going on with UK football, and we appreciate you taking a few minutes, my man.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Anytime.
Thanks, Ben.
Good segment there. If y'all missed it, we had Chris Hatfield in the first hour, Ben Jones second hour. You can check out our podcasts on ihigh.com/KentuckySports. That's good stuff. We appreciate him coming on. Let's get to this break. Me and Mark are going to come back. We're going to break down a little UK UofL schedule and get our predictions because we're getting pretty close. This is the Weekend Sports Buzz.
Vanilla with the 9, ready for the chumps on the wall. The chumps acting ill because they're full of 8 ball. shots ranged out like a bell. I grabbed my 9, all I heard was shells falling on the concrete real fast. Jumped in my car, slammed on the gas. Bumper to bumper, the avenue's packed.
Welcome back to the Weekend Sports Buzz on 1450 AM.
Don't forget, son, there is someone up above. And this simple kind of man will be something.
We're back here with the Weekend Sports Buzz. Good morning, Louisville. It's been a great show so far. Appreciate Chris Hatfield from InsideTheVille.com and Ben Jones from Rivals.com for joining us talking Louisville, Kentucky football because it's here. We're here. We a lot of people try not to talk football, but we want to because my man Mark's always at the events. We got all the best information. KentuckySports.co, CarsandCats.com. Check them out. And we're going to go straight to the Oxmoor Ford Lincoln Buzz line because we got our man up in Evansville, The Truth. How you doing today?
Truth.
What?
What's going on?
What's going on?
Nothing much. It's another beautiful day. What's on your mind today, my man?
Oh, getting ready for football season.
You excited for your Indiana Hoosiers?
Oh, well, 7-5.
7-5.
7-5
That's
Indiana Hoosiers.
That's not bad. I was looking at your schedule, actually. I knew you were on the phone earlier, so I pulled it up. And in my opinion, I see 6-6. Is that okay with you?
No. We got to go to a bowl game.
6 wins gets you a bowl game these days.
Especially without Penn State being able to go
Yeah.
and all these other schools that can't go.
Mm-hmm.
So did you hear earlier that we're bringing Earl Heyman on? I know you know Earl, and he's the Indiana heavyweight state boxing champion.
Yes, he is. He's the best. He's better than Muhammad Ali when Muhammad Ali was coming up.
Yeah, we're excited to have him in the studio on the 19th. Truth, let me ask you about the Lakers. They just got Dwight Howard.
That's the fifth best thing ever happened to the Lakers franchise. Get another big center, and Kobe gonna pass Jordan up in the championship, and we'll crown Kobe as the greatest ball player ever played.
Oh, come on, Truth, come on now. That's just ridiculous. I can't go with it. But I do want to ask you, how's everything going? Everything going good?
I'll just take it one day at a time. I don't have to go through no more chemotherapy.
Great.
Don't have to, and I'm off dialysis for about 3 weeks now. So everything's getting back to normal, but it's a slow process.
Yes, sir.
October, November, I'll probably be able to go back to work.
That's fantastic to hear, Truth.
That is fantastic news. We're always wondering how we're doing, and you and Carolina are our number one guys, so we appreciate you giving us a call. We're always interested in your thoughts.
All right.
I'll talk to you tomorrow, Truth.
All right, bet.
All right. I'm glad Truth's doing well now.
He sounds good.
He is. He's calling. He's calling again. So that's always Truth's good when he's calling.
He's calling. He's feeling good.
It is, and even if his Indiana Hoosiers might not get
they might not get to where
he was excited when Gunnar Kiel committed. I know he was. He was
Yeah.
super excited. Then he decommitted to 4 places. Now he's an Irishman.
Which he probably will transfer before it's over with.
And
so
Truth will probably enjoy the Irish because they're part of Indiana.
It's true.
He likes all things Indiana.
If it's in India. That's kind of Michigan, isn't it? I mean, I know it's still Indiana, but for me, I think of South Bend as like Michigan. And if you've ever been there, you kind of just want to give it to
I really don't count South Bend as if you've been there, you don't want to go back.
No, I've been there.
Nothing.
It's a very interesting place to have so much power.
Yeah, exactly. How did they get anybody there?
It's like
hey, would you like to come to the cornfield?
It's like I needed a therapist right after I left. I was like, I'm depressed.
Oh yeah. All right, let's get off of that one. We're gonna get into scheduling here. We're 30 minutes left. We got plenty of time. 384-1450 if you all want to talk about Louisville's schedule and what's your all's predictions. Kentucky's, the prediction for Kentucky, give us a shout. We want to know. Mark, let's look at this Louisville schedule. We got Kentucky, Missouri State, North Carolina, FIU, Southern Miss, Pittsburgh, South Florida, Cincinnati, Temple, Syracuse, Connecticut, Rutgers. One very tough schedule. I mean, good God.
I know it is tough. Thanks for letting me know. Because you have an SEC school in Kentucky. All right.
Who was the Cardinal that said your all schedule's as hard as your it was Kentucky. Morgan Newton said your all schedule's weak, cupcake, and all your all's fans got mad. It is cupcake. Did you hear those teams? Oh, come on.
It's not. Okay, look. You got Kentucky, your in-state rival. You have North Carolina, a strong ACC team.
At home.
It's at home. We were there last year.
And they're down.
So FIU, they're picked to win the Sun Belt.
They're garbage.
You're playing Sanford. All right. And
I know, and that's one of our 3 garbage teams.
Southern Miss won 12 games last year.
They're still Southern Miss. They didn't make a bowl game, did they?
Did they make a bowl game? They were 12-2. Of course they won.
Who did FIU play? Because y'all lost them last year.
FIU and Marshall played in the bowl game.
2 teams
we lost.
That's right.
In the Beef O'Brady
That was
Bowl.
weird.
It was the Louisville Bowl. And then you got Pitt, who they have one of the best running backs in college football.
Do they still have Sunseri, the quarterback?
Sunseri is their quarterback. He's a senior now, and you're going to get Ray Graham back from injury, who is leading the nation in rushing before his ACL tear. Then you have South Florida, who's got one of the best quarterbacks. He had one of the best quarterbacks in the league in B.J. Daniels and one of the most talented teams. You got Cincinnati, who's been a Big East champion like 3 or 4 years in a row.
Cincinnati's a team that's up and down. You know how that
3
years good, 3 years down.
They have a really good coach in Butch Jones.
That's true.
Temple, they're not. They're Temple. They're a replacement for West Virginia, so that's not great. But Steve Adizio, he's a former offensive
Temple's
coordinator
in the Big
for
East,
Florida,
aren't they?
They are.
That's such a joke.
And then you got Syracuse. Okay, Syracuse,
who hasn't won a bowl game in 100 years. I mean, come on.
Connecticut, not great. Rutgers, very good team.
I'll give you Rutgers just because they chop wood.
They chop wood.
Wood.
Rutgers is going to be in it. That's to be the last game of the year.
I do. Okay, as a Kentucky fan, I like Rutgers.
So you got
North
4
Carolina's
really strong
tough.
comfort.
I'll give you 4, and that makes it cupcake.
And then you got North Carolina, Southern Miss, and then you guys.
No, let me recant my 4 now. What was your 4?
My 4 was Pittsburgh, South Florida, Cincinnati.
I'll give you 5.
Rutgers, North Carolina, Southern Miss.
I'll give you 5.
And then you got Kentucky.
Well, let's go over it. Kentucky. You obviously got your cards beating Kentucky, right?
I do. But that's just based on paper.
Let's just skip the BS. Let's not go game by game. Who will Louisville lose to, in your opinion? That's what I want to know, because then you can look at, we know who you think they're going to be.
In my opinion, they're going to go 9-3.
9-3. Who are those three
and
losses?
I think that the 3 losses will come from either or North Carolina, Southern Miss. I think they'll split those games. I think they'll split the Pittsburgh-Rutgers game.
Hold on, you said North Carolina and who?
And Southern Miss.
And they're both, okay, at Southern Miss.
I feel like they won't win or lose both games. I feel like they will lose one of those games. I don't know which one. I would probably bank on Southern Miss, but they lost a lot of players. And then I'm looking at Rutgers and South Florida and Pitt. And I think that they're probably going to lose either one or two of those games based on youth. And I hope that they don't. I hope they go 12-0. I think that it's possible that they could. But, just generally speaking, just on statistics and how.
And your last 7-6 season.
Yeah, I think 9-3 is what you're looking at, and it'd be great if they go 9-3. I want them to win their bowl game and get the 10 wins. If they go 10-2, they can lose their bowl game, and I'm still going to be okay.
You're
with
okay.
that.
Now,
I'm okay.
9-3. What kind of bowl game would that put you in?
That would, depending on what happened in league play, it would either be a Orange Bowl or probably
9-3 Orange Bowl. You're gonna
if they get the outright Big East championship.
That's why you shouldn't. 9-3 should not put you in Orange Bowl with this type of schedule.
What was Virginia
you can put 4
Tech,
SEC teams in the
Virginia Tech was 9-3 last year,
and they shouldn't. They didn't deserve it.
They shouldn't have been there, but that's the way it is, and that's why we're changing.
They didn't deserve it. And thank God we're changing.
But if it's a 9-3 and they don't outright win, I think they go to the Champ Sports Bowl, which is now the Russell Athletic Bowl, which is the Citrus Bowl.
So they play
Orlando.
somebody like kind of like maybe
Play a
last
Big
year,
Ten school,
or Big Ten, not Penn State, maybe Indiana Hoosier.
Or no, I'm sorry, they play an ACC school.
Okay, I was going to say you all played ACC last year in Belk, right?
We did. We played in North Carolina State, and it was a really good game. That was a really senior heavy team against a very young Louisville team, so it was kind of like. I mean, it's just.
I really didn't think you all were going to lose that game. I really didn't.
I did.
I thought you just came out sluggish, which hurt you. If I can remember back right,
Louisville did come out very sluggish, and then they got it going on. Their defense gave up some easy scores,
exactly.
and then the backbreaker really was the best.
Beat yourself.
The best cornerback in college football is David Amerson. This year, he's going to be a junior for North Carolina State. He jumped over Eli Rogers is the most impressive interception you'll ever see, and then nobody could bring him down. And he brought it back. It was like 60-yard interception return for a touchdown. He literally weaved through about all 11 Louisville players on the interception return. It was probably the most impressive play you'll ever see in football. But that just happens. You know what I mean? It was a really young team.
Then let me ask you, Mark, you've been out there a lot. Devontae Parker, I'm a big Devontae Parker fan. I like his athletic abilities and the way he can go out and just grab balls and grab touchdowns. As a Kentucky fan, I do enjoy him. How did he look?
Devontae Parker always looks good.
Is he a beast out there?
He's tall. He looks bigger than he actually is when he's on the field, and he runs very smooth. You know what I mean? And if you throw the ball like in his area, he tends to like bring it. I don't think I've ever seen him. I don't think I've ever seen him drop a ball. I know he has dropped balls. I've just never seen him personally.
I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
But it just seems like if you throw it up, he's coming down with it. And I think one of the problems with him last year was that every time he touched the ball, it seemed like it was a score. But the problem was Louisville's offensive line wasn't great. He was running a lot of deep routes, and he couldn't get off his man early enough to get his deep route going. So Teddy's running for his life and can't hit the deep guy. He's hitting the short check down. So I just
so 9-3 for you for your Cards this year is your prediction.
That's my conservative.
I think that's a conservative. I think Vegas had it at 8.5. If I'm correct,
8.5. I would take the over.
You took the over, which is fair in my opinion. I'm going to go ahead and put your Cards at 9-3 as well. That's exactly what I was thinking. I thought I was looking at it 3. I still see. I think you will lose something stupid.
I do too.
That you don't deserve to lose.
Something
that's going to hurt
totally
you.
Off the wall that's going to just infuriate everybody.
Exactly.
And Charlie Strong,
like that first September 2nd game. Let's get to the break, and we're going to break down the UK schedule real quick.
Maybe.
Give us a call if you want to, 384-1450. Let us know your predictions for these seasons. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the Weekend Sports Buzz. Kevin Durant scored 19 points as Team USA pushed aside Argentina 109-83 in semifinal basketball action. The U.S. will now face Spain in the final. Not only did the U.S. take gold in the women's 4x100, they set a new world record in the event with Carmelita Jeter crossing the line at 40.82 seconds. Ramon Miller of the Bahamas chased down Angelo Taylor of the U.S. to win his country's first gold medal in the 4x400. And Jordan Burroughs did the business in the 74-kilogram freestyle. The 24-year-old American beat his Iranian competitor for gold. Let us know what you think. Give us a call on the Oxmoor Ford Lincoln Buzz Line at 384-1450.
I cannot take this anymore. Saying everything I've said before. All these words they make.
Welcome back to the Weekend Sports Buzz. My name's Mark Blankenbaker. That's Tyler Bloyd. And there's no way in the world John Hancock picked that song out.
Matt's got awful taste in music.
Matt's terrible.
That was John. Thank you.
No,
Wasn't me.
Pretty sure John didn't pick that out. Thanks, Matt.
I like to rely on you guys now, so you don't make fun of me anymore. You can make fun of yourselves.
You can't make. We won't never make fun of each other. Are you kidding me?
You kidding me?
We're friends here. We're not like those guys in the morning, Mason
not
and
the
Myers.
guys behind the glass.
Yeah, we like each other over here. We won't punch each other. Check us out. 1450tosportsbuzz.com for the live stream. We got the Olympics wrapping up here in the final, 48 hours. Thank goodness. I'm kind of I'm over it. But we did just break down Louisville's schedule. Mark and myself both have 9-3. I didn't disagree with Mark. I actually had that before we walked in. Been planning this all week, and then Kentucky. Now we'll go over their schedule real quick.
Yep.
Obviously, run down their list real quick. Louisville, Kent State, Western Kentucky, Florida, South Carolina, Mississippi State, Arkansas, Georgia, Missouri, Vanderbilt, Samford, Tennessee. Some real teams in this schedule, as always.
Right.
Yes, okay, we'll skip up the games. 3 wins against the garbage, Samford. Western, as they tried to make fun of us last year, it was just a bad first game of the season.
Supposed
down
to be
in Nashville.
SEC?
Supposed to be. It's okay. 3 wins there, Kent State. Then you got to look on. It's tough. Mississippi State at home. Then you got 7 home games, which is always good for this team. Tennessee's at Tennessee. Vanderbilt's at home. They did get us last year. You got at Missouri. Missouri is one of those teams kind of like maybe a Cincinnati that's up every 3 or 4 and down occasionally.
Yeah, and
they're in between the cusp.
And
right
they
now.
are excited in Missouri.
Yeah, they are very
They
excited.
sold almost 50,000 season tickets, which is by far and away
That's
a
what
record
happened.
for Missouri football.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a 3, maybe 4. The reason why I say 4 is since 1992, Kentucky's won 22 divisional games in the SEC East. That's good for 1 per year. I don't know where they're going to win a division game this year. I think that they might be able to beat.
I'm going to go ahead and put it out
Mississippi
there that
State.
they get 5. I know I told Ben, asked Ben,
Okay.
what's the thing, 5 or 6. I'm not going to get absurd. I'm not pulling a casual gamer.
It's just going to be kind of hard to find that 4th game. I could see Mississippi State.
I see Mississippi State at home because we always blow it. I think this may be that year that we get over the hump just because it's at home and, it's one of the first SEC games after South Carolina. You got 2 home games in a row. I just think that second one you lose to South Carolina, then you come out with some anger that next week and you take out your Mississippi State. I think we beat Vanderbilt or Tennessee, one of the two. Obviously, it's a much better choice. It's Vanderbilt considering it's home. I know you disagree totally.
I don't agree with that at all. And the
I think
reason
we beat
is I'm
Vanderbilt.
just having trouble finding the 5th win right now. I understand why you say Vanderbilt, but this isn't your mama's Vanderbilt.
I know it's not. They beat us last year.
And they beat you handily.
It was in Vanderbilt, though.
and pretty much that whole team's coming back. It was in Vanderbilt.
Ours is too.
This
But
will be
so
late
often.
in the year. This will be the 10th game of the year. Kentucky could be pretty well beaten down.
Injuries for both teams could be.
Both teams.
You never know.
Yeah, and depending on how the season's gone for Vanderbilt and Kentucky, this game could be a lot about attitude. Like it could be a lot about where are you in your head because they could beat each other.
It can, Kentucky could be down and out. Vanderbilt could be down and out, or it could be the opposite. You could be on the oh my goodness, we're on the verge of this 5th win. With 2, with a 4th, 5th win, you could win one more for a bowl game. They're both going to be on that verge. So it could be a lot of heart going out. That Tennessee game, I know it. It's Tennessee, 27 years in a row. We finally beat them. They're pissed off. They beat us 27 years in a row, Mark. Why don't we go on a little run?
Why don't you go on a little run? Well, what happened last year when the year before Kentucky beat Steve Spurrier for the first time.
It's different with old Balls
and
coach.
it was 58-3.
It's different with him than Derek Dooley.
I know.
It's a lot different.
Derek Dooley may be out of a job at this point in the year.
Him and Joker could be fighting for their job on that final game of the season.
It could be the game to win your job.
Exactly.
Whoever wins gets to keep it. Whoever loses goes home.
So what are you going with? You're going 4 wins? You're going to give us 3? What are you going with?
No, I'm going to go 4.
You're going to go 4? I'm going...
Because I think they'll win the 3 obvious ones here, and then I think they'll steal another one. I can't make the...
Can I go... Can I just... I'm going to say it. You're going to get 6 wins. I'm going to stick with it.
Yeah, you're
I'm going to go with
casual gamer, but that's cool.
Did he say... He said 12.
He said 12-0, and that Max Smith was
all right,
the one
hold on. I'm thinking hard here. I got the reason I want 6 because that Tennessee really pisses me off, and I don't want to say we're going to lose to them.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also think because the Louisville game is a rivalry game, there is a small chance just because it's that rivalry game, and it's always there.
Dude, okay, in 2002, Louisville came in as a huge favorite. They had problems on the offensive line. Louisville's problems on the offensive line aren't really as prevalent now as they were 10 years ago, but Kentucky's interior defensive line was the reason why Kentucky was able to win that game. That same element exists here in 2012 coming into the Governor's Cup. Kentucky has a really good interior defensive line. That Louisville's offensive line isn't as polished as you'd hoped, but they're not all newcomers like they were in 2002. Well, basically Kentucky absolutely shocked Louisville in that game, and I'm not saying it can never happen because I've seen it happen.
I'm going to stick with it. I don't care if I'm wrong. What's the big deal? If I get 5, if they get 5, it's still close enough. I'm going to stick with my 6 wins. People can call in and call me and say in the rest of the season 3 at 4, 14-50, or you could agree with me because there's a few other people out there that probably agree.
Yeah,
there's a lot that disagree. I do know this. I'm excited for the season though. I really am. I'm excited. I want to keep Joker. He loves Kentucky.
He loves it,
and I want him to be successful. I want 6 wins. I'm going with it.
Well, yeah,
we'll find out.
I agree. And the thing about Joker is that he does love Kentucky. He loves the job that he has. He'll never leave it voluntarily.
No,
he wants it. He's going to fight for it. And the great thing is that he's a good guy too. And I know a lot of people said that about Steve Craigthorpe, but the difference between Steve Craigthorpe and Joker Phillips is that Joker Phillips can actually recruit and coach players. He's got a lot of challenges that are specific to Kentucky that he has to overcome.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see Kentucky beating Louisville this year. It's not out of the realm of possibility. I would say it's an 80% win for Louisville and probably a 20% win for UK at this point. I would like to see that website that actually does is accuscore.com. I'd like to see what they have this game at.
It'd be interesting. A lot of guys, everybody's got their own opinions. We'll find out. Mark, the Louisville game, Kentucky game, is it going to be a close one? Your opinion?
I think it's between 14 and 17.
I think the line's 13, 14.
I don't think it'll be high scoring, so I'm kind of interested to see what the over under is going to be. I'm thinking it's probably like 24-7. 24-10, somewhere in that range. Like I don't think Louisville scores 30 points. I don't think Kentucky gets over 13.
That's fine. We're going to find out. We're going to talk more about it over the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks leading up to kickoff. Tomorrow, our man Farrell Elliott will be joining us. We're talking KFF SC football, fantasy football. We're getting close, 2 weeks away from that draft. We appreciate Ben Jones and Chris Hatfield for coming on today. It's been a great show. It really has been.
Check out our website.
Yeah, check out the website, KentuckySports.co, carsandcats.com, and, of course, 1450 to SportsBuzz.com. All the great contributing stuff going on to all 3 of those sites. Tomorrow, myself, Kelly Patrick, will be in here from 10 to noon. Should be another good show. And, of course, next Sunday, August 19th, don't forget, Earl Heyman is joining us Sunday, co-hosting 2 hours. It's going to be the best show around Louisville.
Ever.
Don't miss out. It really is. It's going to be great. We're going to get intense, talking boxing, talking Louisville, Saints, NFL, everything we can talk about. Mark, it's been fun.
It's been a great time.
It's been great. Thanks for listening. This is the Weekend Sports Buzz.